Welcome. Thank you for joining us for another virtual town hall. Today is Wednesday, January 13th. I've got good news on the COVID numbers. Previously, you've heard me explain a concern about the increasing number as a direct impact or result of the Christmas and New Year activities. We saw the cases rise up to 8,000 cases per day. Last week, we were around 7,500, and I'm happy to see our numbers declining. The numbers reported today, we're at 6,701 new cases. That's significantly lower than the 21-day average, where we were at 7,312. So we're making some progress. I feel that we're making some progress. I think most of us would agree that perhaps the number were higher than they needed to be if we all just practice some very basic protective measures. But nonetheless, we are living in a society where we all don't share the same values, and folks have different views on the risk. But we got to look out for each other and everyone. So I'm happy to see these numbers declining. So we're making some progress. On related matters, I have become concerned about the news of a new COVID variant. There was one discovered in Columbus. This new variant is more contagious than the original COVID virus strand. But what I understand from the reports I'm reading, that the expectation on the vaccine, that the vaccine is going to be as effective on this new variant as it was on the original COVID virus. So some sad news to hear this new version of the virus, this new mutation happened right here in Ohio. It happened in Columbus, and hence is being named the Columbus variant. I didn't know that Columbus had that kind of pull with the virus, but we're there. And we'll continue to have the over 700, the relatives to over 380,000 people that have passed as due to COVID. We expect that number to increase. And my heart goes out to all those families that are affected by the many deaths that we've lost. Sorry, the many people that we've lost. Okay, Sean's gonna put up some graphics up on the screen, and we're gonna walk through the vaccine update. Sean, are those up? Perfect. As you know, the phase 1B strategy is underway. The priorities for the phase 1B strategy is to obviously continue to save lives and protect Ohio's most vulnerable residents, and get all K-12 students in schools by March 1st. The phase 1B will focus on two particular groups: those who are 65 years and older, and the K-12 teachers and school staff will be offered vaccines. And this is for the purposes of allowing the full in-classroom or hybrid learning. As you know, we have many students that are going without a conducive learning environment. In many communities, schools are the safest places for children. And now the state has made getting kids back into school a priority, because when many of us are able to deal with the pandemic and have proper childcare and food for children, there are communities where that's just not the case. Their safest place is schools. So I'm in support of the measure to get children back into school safely, because it is part of the safety net for many communities. How would we'll transition from 1A to 1B? In the transition to 1B, the vaccine will continue to be offered to the 1A group. Those are all those frontline workers, healthcare workers, nursing homes, firefighters. So that work will continue until everyone that's eligible under that group has, and once a vaccine has received the vaccine. Here are the tentative timelines. The January 19th, that is next Tuesday, the vaccine will become available to individuals ages 80 and over. on January 25th, ages 75 and older, and those with severe congenital development or early medical disorders. February 1, ages 70 and older, and the employees of K-12 schools and institutions. And on February 8th, ages 65 and older. These slides, I'm gonna leave them up on the screen so you have a minute to digest them or read through them. And also, if you are replaying the video at home, I would allow folks to pause and I guess read while the slides are up, right, Sean? One thing, it's important to note that not all phase 1B providers will be allocated the vaccine initially. This will be rolled out to the different groups. And this is a massive endeavor to get all the vaccines out to the right places. So please be patient. I am hopeful in the system what we develop here in Ohio. I have heard stories of other states where the vaccine has become available to all the groups because the logistics of coordinating distribution and prioritizing the most vulnerable groups is a challenge for states and in the public health providers in those states. I think Ohio, we've been fortunate to develop such a collaborative relationship, and we've got a lot of smart people here in Ohio that are working to get this out to the people that need it the most. We will update these slides as they become available. This was a significant week for the rollout. The webinars have taken place on the enrollment. Philip's we're gonna put out some announcements on our website on how to sign up for the vaccine and where they're being distributed. So we'll plan to get that information out in the end of the week and beginning of next week. By tomorrow, the Department of Health is expected to post the map of all providers with doses, and this is going to be sortable by county, zip code, and target population. I encourage you to check out the. Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. I'm on slide 8, the one with title "What to Expect Next Week." Correct. So tomorrow we expect the Department of Health to post a map of all the provider locations and what vaccines are available by county, zip code, and target population. We're going to make sure to repost that information as it becomes available on our website and our social media channels. But I also want to encourage you to visit the Greene County Public Health Department website. I think our county has done a great job at keeping our community informed on what's happening at the public health at the county level. Sean, I'm moving to next slide. All right. Other updates. I think this is where we'll move to the next ones fairly quickly. Obviously, the state wants to ensure that all the COVID vaccines are properly used, that none is wasted. They're also focused on providing the latest data on cases and vaccinations and updating K-12 quarantine guidelines and updating resources. There will be a redistribution of surplus vaccines before they expired. So the state is focused on making sure that we utilize the limited resources that we have. This is a quote from the Governor DeWine. Every vaccine dose that Ohio receives must be administered. Each vaccine represents a potential life save, and it is our obligation to ensure that not a single dose is wasted. I couldn't agree more. This is the K-12 schools updated quarantine guidelines. Students and adults in K-12 schools may continue to attend in-person schools after exposure to someone with COVID-19 if the following conditions are met. The school has documented the COVID-19 prevention policies, including universal mask wearing, social distancing, hand washing, identification and management of students exhibiting symptoms of COVID-19, and routine environmental cleaning and disinfection protocols. The exposure occurred within a classroom environment or while on required school transport, such as a school bus. The person with COVID-19 and any associated contacts were wearing face masks that cover their nose and mouth at all times. If meals were consumed, a distance of at least 6 feet between students must be maintained. Social distancing was maintained. The Center CDC's Control and Prevention CDC defines acceptable distancing as a minimum of 6 feet in accordance with the American Academy of Pediatrics. Desks should be placed ideally 6 feet apart and at a minimum of 3 feet apart. There's also a communication toolkit. We've been looking at these resources and we've used this information to communicate timely and accurate information to you. We've shared this information with you in the past. The Ohio State website on the coronavirus response is at coronavirus.ohio.gov. Information on the vaccine and the vaccine plan are also located at this website. And there's the contact information for the Department of Health. If you want to call Ross Kennedy, Deputy Director and Director of External Affairs, his phone number is right there, 614-406-0419. Wonder how many calls Kennedy is getting. Okay. All right, I think that is for the slides, right, Sean? Excellent. I have a few more announcements. One is that next week, administration and council will have a work session, a retreat to talk about 2021 goals. We have very ambitious goals for next year. The administration, my team will be presenting our top 6 goals. Two of them have to do with infrastructure. If you tuned in our last council meeting, I reported on our water loss and our water loss ratio. We are losing about 36% of the water that we produce. And that's being lost through leaks in our system, pipes that are unmetered, and so it's water that we can't track. Our priority for 2021 is to resolve that problem, find a way to minimize that water loss, because ultimately that's an efficiency issue. I think it's unacceptable to have that kind of water loss. It's not a new problem, but it certainly is a problem that I must address. So that's on top of our list. We will continue our effort on dealing with infiltration and inflow. That's water that's entering our sanitary sewer system. In 2020, we did a great job at reducing infiltration and inflow. If you recall, one of my early, I think it must have been my first couple meetings with council. I joined the team on June of 2019, and I've received a letter from the Ohio EPA that we were exceeding our 600,000 gallons per day capacity of our sanitary sewer system. Certainly, I didn't want to receive that letter, but it arrived and it spoke to the conditions of our system. So since then, we put a lot of effort into dealing the infiltration and inflow, and I'm happy to report that we met our target to reduce infiltration and inflow. We are now slightly below 500,000 gallon per day flow averages, and that's a significant improvement where we were. I encourage you to see the video from the last council meeting on that. We had some charts. Philip, maybe you can help me put some graphs together in release, but that's a major accomplishment. We'll continue that effort. We've got some goals around municipal broadband. I hope you had an opportunity to enjoy the public Wi-Fi in the downtown area, and we're looking to expand that and are looking to establish a municipal broadband enterprise that is providing fiber to the home. We think it's a critical development and infrastructure and community development tool. I think we all have heard horror stories right here in Yellow Springs that we have children that can't connect to the internet. because our internet infrastructure is low, oversubscribed, and inconsistent. So we want to address those challenges so we can improve the access to internet, to allow people to do the things that they need to do online. And I also see it as a major economic development tool. It could attract better paying jobs. It can increase access to the labor market by our residents, many of whom are already dependent on online jobs. By us providing a better internet service, our residents can have a broader reach online. Our businesses could have a broader reach online. We've got several other goals, so I encourage you to stay tuned. On the meeting in February with council, we expect to outline all of our ambitious goals. I also want to announce that Philip O'Rourke, who manages our communication here, will have an indie-style TV show. Philip, did I get that correctly? It's going to be called the Philip Show, but it's an indie-style TV show. I encourage you to tune in. February 3rd is launching on Channel 5. All right, so I encourage you to tune in. And finally, after this town hall, Sean is going to play a video by our award-winning Steve Bognard, a video titled Small Ohio Town, a Work in Progress. We're going to have it for just 1 week. 1 month, sorry, we're going to have it just for 1 month. So we'll be playing it frequently on Channel 5 for 1 month, and then it's coming offline because Steve is going to put he's already put his magic touches on it, but he'll continue to work it until he gets it into a final product. I saw it with my wife. It's very heartwarming, touching, and I love seeing it. So if you haven't had a chance to see that, stay tuned. We're going to play it here on social media and Channel 5. And with that, I am going to invite my colleagues to speak. And before moving on to Chief Brian Carlson, want to make a note or let you know that Chief Colin Altman is unable to join us tonight. He had some urgent matters to attend to. And so I took the liberty of extending my talking points to 60 minutes. And with that, Chief Carlson, thank you for joining us tonight.
Informative, I appreciate that. Good evening, everyone. Don't have a lot to announce this evening. I did want to possibly bring some calm to any concerns that you may have about next week. We are on it. We are working with contingency plans. It's not something that we make public, but we are here. I feel it's going to be a very safe week. And I'm inviting everyone to come out and please join us. We're fortunate enough to be able to participate as well in the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day Parade or March. It begins 9:30 at the Corey Street parking lot. And the vehicles and the marchers will walk south on Xenia Avenue beginning at 9:45. Miami Township Fire and Rescue will be assisting as well, just to keep traffic safe. So we hope everyone comes out and we have a wonderful day. Thanks, Josue. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chief. And also joining us tonight is Mayor Pam. Mayor Pam, thank you for joining us.
As usual, it is my pleasure. And I have just a couple of announcements too, very quick. Number one, Christmas trees are still being picked up this week, Monday through Friday, so you have 2 more days. If your Christmas tree is languishing somewhere on your property, by the back door, by the garage, drag it out front and the village crews will pick it up. Second announcement continues what Chief Carlson just said about the Martin Luther King Day March on Monday, January 18th. This is a long tradition in our village, a day of peace and justice. It's a wonderful tradition. And with the usual fanfare, we gather at 9:30 there in what's known as the Subway parking lot behind Subway there on the corner of Xenia Avenue and Corey. And we step off at 9:45. About 45 minutes later, we're done at the same location. Then everybody scurries home and gets ready for the virtual gathering this year. The easiest thing to do, most of you have already registered for that event. It is a registration event, free, of course, but I just went on the site a few minutes ago and there's about 75 people registered to attend. And what you do, if you want, you can just put in Antioch College, because this event is being sponsored by Antioch College MLK Day 2021. And it takes you right to the link where if you click on that link, there's a big thing that says register here. You just put your name, what your relationship is to Antioch, and you're good to go. So that's something we can all look forward to on Monday. I was also just thrilled to hear that Steve Bognar's Small Ohio Town is being shown on our beloved Channel 5. I think that's wonderful. I had an opportunity to watch it a couple nights ago, and my goodness, it's such a beautiful, tranquil, no dialogue sort of thing. It's images, it's flowing, it's nature sounds, it's voices, it's children's voices, it's musical instruments, it's everything that we love about our village. So I highly recommend you watching this work in progress. Thank you very much, Josue. That's what I have for tonight. Mayor Pam, back to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor Pam. All right, this is the part where we open our town hall for questions. Philip, do we have any questions? Okay, no questions so far. Small Ohio Town, beautiful video. One of the things I like about Sunday morning, if you watch the show, they play a scene of nature, scene of somewhere in the country. And Steve's video is that for me with people in it. And, you know, it's such a good cinematography, such good sound, visuals, and people that we know and care about, community we care about. So, yeah, so go watch it, or sorry, stay tuned and watch it. Any questions, Philip? Okay. All right, well, thank you for joining us. Stay tuned. We're going to play Small Ohio Town by Steve Bognar.